here at the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, 20th anniversary of this place, and then the 2018 class induction includes the Women's Professional Basketball League. Tell us a little bit about your experience with the WBL.
My name is McKenzie, and I played for the Dayton Rockettes and California Dreams. And those were the first two teams that started the WBL back in '78 and '79. I live in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I work for the VA Medical Center. I'm a recreation therapist.
Excellent, excellent. Let's talk a little bit about basketball.
Okay.
When did the passion for basketball and the idea to play basketball first enter your mind?
I had foster brothers, and I come from DC, and so you play basketball pretty much on the weekends, and so I kind of got the bug to play on the weekends with my brothers and neighborhood kids, and for some reason I just happened to be shooting basketball in the gym in my high school, and one of the gym teachers came over and she said, are you a member of the Girls Athletic Association? I said, well, no. She said, well, would you like to join? We could use you on our basketball team. And that's how it all started. I got the bug. Couldn't put the ball down,
And obviously we're here to celebrate one of the first women's professional leagues, which you played in. But after you got that bug, what did that look like from then on? How did you build on a basketball career, or did you?
I played college basketball for 4 years with Federal City College, and our team did extremely well. We were a predominantly black team, and that was in the 70s. That was kind of unheard of. And then I went to the tryout camps, the basketball for the USA Olympic team and the Pan American team. I kept going to the camps. And the final one I made as an alternate for the USA Olympic team in 1976.
76 team.
The 76 team with Pat Head Summit.
I was just thinking about that. Okay,
yes,
and who was coaching that team?
That was Billie Jean Moore.
Okay.
She was the coach for the team in 76.
Excellent. Yes. Wow. So really have from that one question a tenacious drive to play basketball.
Yes.
And so, thinking about the professional league, when did you first hear the rumblings of the WBL?
Well, I had just graduated from college, and I was planning on going to teach school in the DC area, and my coach told me that I was drafted for a pro team, and I'm thinking, what? It's like there's going to be a pro team, and so I was supposed to be playing in Washington, D.C. for that team, but that franchise got moved to Dayton, and that's how I went with the tryouts and signed a contract,
So you didn't even know that there was a league, and you didn't know that you were drafted?
No, I didn't know any of that, and it was just like shocking, It's like, okay, well, I can still play a little bit. Let me go give it a shot,
And I've talked to other players. Tina Thompson is in this induction class. I've talked with Ann Myers-Drysdale, both top draft picks. But I talked to them about making that decision to ultimately sign the contract. And as you said, you were preparing to teach.
Yes.
So what were some of the things that you considered? We know what the ultimate decision was, and who are some of the people that you consulted when trying to decide if this was a route that you wanted to take?
I don't recall hesitating at all. I was in between going to teach, and I thought this would be a prime opportunity to just continue to play basketball. I mean, a lot of our players here, we just love the game. We just wanted to play. It really wasn't about the money. It was about actually playing, continuing to play ball, and help the sport itself. Help young women understand that you can get out there and play basketball, and it's okay. You can have fun with sports. So I consulted with my coach, my college coach, and a couple of friends, but other than that, I was on board.
You're like, we doing this.
I'm doing it. And I was supposed to be going to Italy. I had gotten kind of an offer to go play ball in Italy.
Abroad.
And so I was teetering with that, and then I found out about the United States having a league, and that's when I said, okay, well, I'm staying home.
And I find it so fascinating. I must admit, I did not know much about I didn't know anything about the WBL until preparing to come down here to cover this induction, but I've become fascinated to learn what I do know about women's basketball and what I also know about startup women's professional leagues, even today that I cover, that the stories parallel so much.
Is that right?
Yes. Thinking about Katie Smith, who's here, ABL, an all-girl player, and thinking about players like Teresa Edwards, who might be one of the greatest basketball players that nobody in the States knows because the opportunities were abroad.
Exactly.
But then thinking about how much success we've seen today with the WNBA, but also still those players have to make tough choices sometimes when it comes to having a family, being with their family, versus being able to make a living playing basketball. And so I'm just curious to know from you, you've seen so many iterations of professional basketball since your playing days. How do you take in all of the success while also knowing that there's still more that can be done for women's sport?
When I have an opportunity to see women's college ball on television, and the WNBA is getting the publicity and notability that we were probably hungry for early on. We were just kind of ahead of our time, you might want to say. It makes me very happy and pleased. I'm glad to see that it was actually what we did made a difference in what we have today in women's sports. There's still a battle to be won with equality. Because we know that some of the salaries aren't the same, equal on parallel with males. But I think that we'll get there. I think it's a possibility. And the more women step up and become voices of equality for women, I think that it will happen. Hopefully in my lifetime.
Absolutely. And so now let's talk maybe a little bit about, assuming you're still a fan of the game, who are some of the players, men's, women's, at any level, that you really enjoy watching and would have maybe liked to play against in your day?
I'm not really, I don't follow a lot of the games. I'm not obsessed with it anymore.
Yeah.
I kind of look at the coaching styles and I look at technique. So when I see a player that is more dominant on one side or just goes for straight drives versus kind of what my coach would call shake and bacon, where you kind of make a move and you kind of fake and do something fancy. I don't think of any specific player. I just kind of recognize their ability and say, that was awesome. That was a good move. It was a great way to get around. So I just look at the technique now. I don't really look at any specific player. When I was playing pro ball, my mentors were Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Those are my favorite, because we had no females, so I had to copy under males. And because I was tall and I played under the rim and I had a hook shot that I used, that was Kareem's thing. Magic Johnson was one of those who really knew how to see inside and penetrate to the basket, and I really loved his style of play. So, those were my mentors that I had.
And then I also want to ask you, thinking about being here, this is the home of women's basketball history. And as I mentioned, I'm still learning a lot of the history. So as you made this trip and you're here with some teammates, what are some of the things you've been reflecting on from your playing experience? And what are some of the things that you've learned about the sport, having come to Knoxville this weekend?
This is definitely a basketball town. Before I could even get off the airplane, I had a lady person, are you here for the induction? I'm thinking, well, yeah, I was in the ladies' room, So, well, yes, ma'am, I am. And this is just a great honor. It's been 40 years since we played basketball, and played professionally. And a lot of us have done other things to help support the game. I've coached women's 50-plus leagues in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and they've done quite well in the national competition. So basketball, to me, this town is really friendly with people coming to visit. We've noticed that right off the bat. And I'm just in awe. I'm just elated that this is being appreciated now.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations
Thank
to
you so much.
And I just peeked down. Is that you?
Yes, ma'am. This is
All
me.
right, show us that. That's amazing. That is amazing. Enjoy the weekend.
Thank you so much.